Welcome back to Cardiff Met Archers Arena in Cardiff, Wales. Today we have the girls playing Scotland versus Ireland, essentially the silver medal game this morning. I'm Jacob Dim. I'm joined by Donny McDonald, the under-16s Great Britain head coach for the women. How are you, Donny? Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Cheers.
What are your thoughts going into this game? Obviously, you've seen a lot of basketball here yesterday. What are your hopes for your home nation, Scotland?
Well, I think Scotland played very good defence against England yesterday. They created a lot of layup opportunities, weren't able to finish them all. So they competed well with England. I watched Ireland play a very similar type of defence against England yesterday as well. So it will be a battle of the presses, I think, here from the defensive side. Obviously, the challenge for Scotland is going to be matching up with the size of Ireland, where they have an advantage. So a big part of the game here is going to be which set of guards control the game better, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, Ireland's got some great size, and both teams very, very strong defensively. So it might be a defensive chess match today with presses, maybe some zones as well in there. I was very impressed yesterday with the Alexander sisters for Scotland. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, obviously I've worked with these girls myself for the last 4 years now. I know them very well. They progressed. They work very hard. Obviously Grace still being a U15. This is the second tournament of the summer for her. She's performed very well across 2 tournaments, and this is probably Charlotte's final game as a U17 for Scotland. So I'm sure she'll be one to go out with a bang here as well.
Absolutely. And moving our attention to this Ireland team, what are your thoughts of them? I'm sure they were very impressive against Wales I saw yesterday, especially Kate Behan.
Ireland play very good team basketball. You know, they look very organised with good structures. They read the defence very well. So, yeah, they look like they're an organised team that's going to be a difficult matchup for Scotland, I think.
And here we go. The game is now started. Scotland come away with the tip-off. Cara Dick bringing the ball up under pressure from Behan. Hill gets the drive into the paint, kicks back out. And the fumble pass, can't go connect on the pass. And already we're seeing that pressure defense from Ireland.
The good news for Scotland is they're getting in the key though, which, you know, if they can keep doing that, they'll create good shooting opportunities.
Absolutely. Summers collects the ball. Very impressive performances yesterday. Behan. And we have a travel called on the corner.
The team's just feeling each other out at the beginning here. Okay, the 1v1 defense has been good, so let's see how they settle into things.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of stops for both teams here. And that was Laura Gocek being called on that travel. Sophie Heron.
The trap coming straight away from Ireland.
It's a jump ball. That's a strong defense from Ireland there. And the arrow is in favour of the Irish team.
That's going to be a challenge for the Scottish guards. Can they deal with that pressure?
Go check the inbound. The box set. Summers comes up, collects the ball, middle ball screen. Scotland switching on defense. O'Reilly can't get it to go, but gets her own offensive rebound, goes up again. And the out of bounds call goes in favour of Scotland. O'Reilly, a big, strong performer from yesterday as well. Big threat getting into the paint. Offensive rebound already.
I think, yeah, the offensive rebounds could be an area that Ireland have an advantage on. They're going to need to look at this now. Again, press here from Ireland, causing some problems for Scotland.
Yeah, I'm seeing 4 Irish shirts in the front court with only 2 Scottish jerseys. 8-second call by the referee. Another full court defensive stop by Ireland.
I think Scotland will adjust to this. Just a little bit static in that press break there. Made it a little bit easy for the Irish guards to jump in the gaps.
Absolutely, and it won't be anything new to them. They definitely would have planned for this. It wouldn't be a surprise to them. They saw how they played yesterday. As Gocek's got the ball. Tries to get inside O'Reilly. Double team on low block. Behan can't collect. Loose ball, bodies on the floor, and jump ball again. This time Scotland ball.
Yeah, good defensive possession for Scotland there. You know, they stopped all the drives early. Nothing easy for Ireland. Yeah,
I'm already seeing Ireland putting more bodies in that front court, pressuring the ball. There's 4 again. 4 again in that front court, and only 2 or 3 Scotland jerseys in the back court trying to bring the ball up. So maybe that long pass is on. or do they bring it to a... What would you do in a situation
Well,
like this,
I think
coach?
there's gaps in the middle. I think we need the diagonal cuts. Just needs a bit more movement. The Scottish players are holding their positions, but rather than moving to the ball and creating better angles for the pass. So just needs to be a little bit more dynamic in the press break, I think.
Yeah, and I think the ball's slightly sticking as well, so the defence gets time to jump onto the ball.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to the Ireland defence, taking away the passes as well. As we have sign out of bounds, go check go ball, looking for O'Reilly. Summers in the corner. Drives baseline, up and out. Heron with the ball. Kennedy drops it off. Shot under the basket is blocked. It will stay with Scotland. That was Emily Hill. Get a nice dump off pass, but can't get it to go. Blocked away.
A good look inside there for Scotland, but again, defence is on top for this first few minutes of the game.
Hill to inbound. Dick finds Stupart in the corner, couldn't get it to go. Offensive rebound, Scotland, up again. O'Reilly comes away with it. Here's Summers, fast break opportunity. And gets it to go.
Yeah, good look there for Scotland. Kiva Stupart is a very good shooter, but then the transition defence let them down. A too easy a score for Ireland.
And another steal for Ireland, another turnover. Scotland getting the ball up in transition. Offensive rebound, Behan back out to Summers in the corner. Her free is off. Go check, offensive rebound. Ireland come again. 2-point layup. That was Timmons skipping through the lane for a layup. Double team on the ball again.
Now we need the front court players dropping back to create an opportunity for the pass. Now
Yep,
we've got an
there
opportunity
we go.
to score.
So you see this aggressive defense from Ireland is putting the full court in a disadvantage by giving themselves an advantage in the front court.
Absolutely, and I think Scotland read it there. The front court players drop back to create another passing option, and then you've got the fast break opportunity coming out of that.
It's a lovely pass by Summers to Timmons, skip through, reverse layup, can't get it to go.
Ireland ran that backdoor action very well yesterday against England, so that's clearly a strength of theirs. And against the aggressive Scotland defence, they're attacking the spaces that are available for them.
And there she is already, O'Reilly, like I mentioned, coming in and scoring her first 2 points of the game. I saw Grace Alexander was about to check back into the game for the first time, but we have a timeout called, I presume, by Scotland.
Yeah, no, not a surprise. I think he's probably going to talk about that press break a little bit. You know, it's getting a little bit stuck with the guards too close to the baseline, and if the front court players can make themselves available by flashing to the middle, I think they can take away that advantage Ireland have just now.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Ireland in the timeout, they're probably saying more of the same, more of the same. Or do you switch it up and create this chess match between coaches? They're going to solve a problem, but you're already going to be in something else now when they come out of the timeout. Or is it more of the same?
No, I think more of the same. Ireland were looking to convert their opportunities more. Obviously, the number of turnovers they've created, they would have wanted to have a bigger advantage at this stage. You know, it feels like their defense is on top and they've got the ascendancy, but it's only a 4-point game, I think, at this point in time. So, if I can see that correctly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. It feels like they've got a bunch of steals, forcing a lot of turnovers, but the scoreboard isn't in their favour that much. It's not that big of a difference. So can Scotland weather this storm and get their scoreboard taken back over?
What's been quite interesting is it's perimeter players against perimeter players right now. We're not really seeing Ireland taking advantage of that size that they have inside. You know, Scotland aren't the biggest team, so it'll be interesting to see if they start looking for that interior basketball a little bit more.
Clara Dick to inbound. We are seeing the same Irish press. Heron dribbling to the sideline, gets past her defender. Here's Alexander, blocked away by O'Reilly. Go check, trying to get it to Summers, too much on the pass, out of bounds.
A little bit more aggressive from Sophie Heron there at the guard position to attack the press, and the one thing about a press is it can also leave you exposed at the back. So
yep, and that's how we saw Scotland get their first 2 points, and maybe trying to get some more now. Heron, great job getting to the rim, creating lots of contact. The ball is out of bounds. Scotland will retain possession. This baseline out of bounds.
One thing I would say about the tournament so far, the referees have done a great job of actually allowing the contact, more similar to what we see in European competition. So this is really good preparation for players who want to take that step up to playing for Ireland. Obviously going to Division B, and for some of these Scottish players trying out for the GB teams.
Beautiful layup there by Nora Sallen. And yeah, absolutely, I couldn't agree more. This is not too far away from women's or men's basketball this tournament, under 17s age group, and I'm sure they've already been playing men's and women's basketball in their respective clubs. So it's a good learning lesson, a good learning moment. As Grace Alexander can't get the ball past that Irish defense, and there's Katie Behan there, opens her account for today.
I think one of the things that the Scottish players need to look at doing is using the space behind them a little bit more with their dribble. They're trying to dribble into the press, into the trap, and that's causing them to have some trouble. So using the space to create better passing angles, I think, is going to be the key here.
Absolutely, and that's probably why we see Grace Alexander handed into the game. She could be the one that's calm the weather, calm the storm, let's say, for this Scotland team. As Livingston checks into the game. And a beautiful layup there, can't quite get it to go. Offensive rebound Scotland. And it falls.
Two good looks,
you know,
Clara Dick getting to the basket, Grace Alexander following for the offensive rebound.
Summers gets called on the travel. Been a lot of travel calls this tournament, so the referees are indeed on it.
It's been an area of emphasis. I spoke with the referee assessors, and they were saying, obviously, going into FIBA tournaments where that onside step is more often than not a travel.
Yep.
They've been trying to focus in on that, and we've seen that across all the games.
Beautiful move by Heron, getting into the lane, floaters up, and just rims out. Scramble for the rebound, and it goes out of bounds in favour of Ireland.
It's a good decision there by Sophie Heron not to go against the bigger players and pull up for that little floater. A bit unlucky the bounce. The rims are a bit tough in here. They're not the most friendly sometimes, so just got to swish everything.
As we see Udo Uzar checking into the game for the first time. Some great sides from this Ireland team. Here's Summers, defended closely by Scotland. Backdoor cut Ireland, Livingston's up and in. Scarlett Livingston opens her account for today as Kate Bennon can't quite get it to go off her own steal. Here's Heron passing ahead. Another travel going to be called that time. Sellen.
Scotland got a little bit lucky there, a very good passing movement by the Irish to get the layup, and then, giving up the ball and giving another layup opportunity, but, only one score out of those two opportunities for Ireland.
As we see Eva Holman-White checking into the game for the first time. Here's Behan. Timmins quite can't connect on the pass. Scotland ball out of bounds.
I'm actually enjoying seeing the defensive battle here. This good type of defense, this pressure makes the offensive players better. So if nothing else, this experience will help improve all these guards.
Absolutely. In this last possession, Ireland going back into a half-court defense with the similar positions. As Behan gets the rebound and handles the ball under pressure. Pressure from Clara Dick. Uzak comes up, sets a screen. Behan, floater in the middle. Lovely finish.
Very nice touch there.
Very talented player, Kate Behan, as she is the only one up pressuring the ball. Can Scotland use this advantage? Grace Alexander on left side wing. Can't quite get it to go, back rim and out. But she gets her own rebound, skips through the lane. Scotland can't get that lid off the rim at the moment.
Similar story to what we saw when they played against England yesterday. Created a lot of interior opportunities, just can't get it to fall.
Absolutely, and you've got 3-4 offensive rebounds in this one possession, so that's definitely positive to take. But another travel is called. So we see Charlotte Alexander about to check into the game.
I think from a coaching perspective, Bart Sengers and Callum Knox will be thinking, we're getting good looks. Okay, I think if you can keep getting these looks, you've got to have confidence that these players are going to settle into the game and it will start to fall for them.
As Casey Quinnan checks into the game, handling the ball, pressure from Dick. Good defense here by Scotland. Alexander all the way in the passing lane. Here's Livingston, turns over. Here comes Scotland, transition opportunity. Ahead to Alexander, drops it off to Dick. Beautiful transition there.
Yeah, very nice pass. Good Norris Lay getting the ball ahead. Charlotte Alexander finding Clara Dick underneath the basket. Good ball movement. And now good pressure from Sophie Heron.
Yeah. Behan, Livingston drives into the middle. Tough finish inside from Livingston there.
Yeah, very good move by Livingston there, using her length to get over the smaller defender.
Here comes Scotland. Transition opportunity off a conceded basket. And one. And one scored by Nora Sellen there.
What we're noticing to see now is the pace of the game has gone up. Even after a score, we're seeing transition opportunities, both teams looking to play quick. And that's creating, it much more difficult for the defense to get set when the teams play this quick.
Here's Sellen, trying to convert the and one, can't quite get it to go. Uzar with the rebound. Great defense by Charlotte Alexander, missed dribble, pressure, time counting down, and 8-second call. Brilliant defense in the full court, Charlotte Alexander.
That's excellent 1v1 defense in the backcourt. Great use of the hands, moving the body very well. Good job by Charlotte Alexander there.
As we have another substitute coming in for Scotland, this one is Libby Harrison checking into the game for the first time today. Heron, Holborn White. Here is Harrison. Alexander, jab step, crossover, spin move. Finish on the buzzer, can't quite get it to go, but she can't quite get the rebound off Behan. Here is Summers, missed dribble. Good pressure defense from Scotland. Behan, get action with Uzar. Re-screen, re-drive. Beautiful move by Behan, just out of the front rim. Uzar can't get it to go either. Couple missed dribbles in this last 2 minutes. And there is Behan with the beautiful left-hand layup. Continues the scoreboard ticking over for Ireland. Again, we're seeing Ireland with the 4 bodies in the front court. But Scotland, can they take the advantage in the back court? Up and out, unfortunately, from Scotland there, Clara Dick.
I think one of the things we saw there was Scotland trying to play a bit quicker after the score, which meant the press wasn't so set and gave them an easier opportunity to break it. Big challenge now with Uzar in the game and how Scotland match up against her. We saw the offensive rebound the last possession.
Oh, Behan again.
And again, the offensive rebound. Yeah.
Uzar could just walk through, no contact for an easy offensive rebound and put back 2.
Yeah, I think Scotland are going to have to find a way to get a body on her and stop her getting that position, because once she's in there's no stopping her.
Oh, it's a lovely drive by Clara Dick. White can't get finished off on Holborn White. Here comes Quinlan. Summers, left side wing, up for 3, back iron. Fight for the rebound, ball out of bounds, Scotland retain possession. Here is Anna Neelan coming into the game for the first time. Some lovely pink shoes on there.
It seems to be the colour of the tournament. I've seen a few.
Absolutely, both boys and girls loving the pink shoes. I'm a big fan myself.
I'm going to show my age by saying in my day we'd never get away with that type of thing.
Here we go. Alexander to inbound. Ireland full court pressure. Here's Dick.
Slightly different from Ireland now. They've gone man press or player-to-player press here.
Yep.
Scotland more used to this type of pressure and seems to be handling it a little bit easier.
Absolutely, and here is Dick. Gets a step on Behan. Offensive rebound. Up again. There's 2 points for Clara Dick.
Yeah, good tenacity from Clara Dick there. She's been doing this all game, getting in the key. This time, though, stays with the play, gets the offensive rebound and put back.
Oh, they're going to call a backcourt violation. That's unfortunate there. The great hustle play from Clara Dick after getting those 2 points.
Just good hustle, but just the wrong moment to touch the ball, unfortunately, there.
Stealing the ball too early in the front court, then your momentum's going into the backcourt. It's unfortunate there. Behan to inbound is Quinlan. Rejects the screen. Drive up and over to Uzar in the paint. 2 bodies around her. Finish seems to be relatively easy.
And I think this is the challenge. Uzar gets the ball that deep. There's nothing really Scotland can do about it. They're going to have to try and find ways of keeping her out of that position.
Absolutely. And here is Libby Harrison. 2-point layup. So yeah, we are seeing even on an Ireland score, Scotland still want to play fast, and they can get transition opportunities going back the other way as we enter the last possession of the quarter.
And I think that's the key. The quick passing rather than slowing down and trying to run the set press break is helping Scotland get these opportunities as Ireland come back and score again.
Neelan opens her account. So here comes Scotland with 5 on the clock. Clara Dick can't quite get the 3-point attempt off in time, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter. 22-12 to Ireland, 10-point lead.
I think that's a fair reflection of how the quarter's gone so far. Ireland have created the better opportunities. Scotland would be disappointed not to have converted a few more. They've had a lot of layup opportunities, but it definitely felt like Ireland were in the ascendancy in that first quarter.
Absolutely. And then if you're in this Scotland timeout, what would you be saying to the players? Would you be changing a lot? Would you be making small adjustments, or more of the same? You're doing good things, the points will come.
Well, from an offensive perspective, we've seen now that as they play quicker against the press, they've actually got more success. You know, at the beginning when they were trying to play the structured press break, they were holding the ball. It was all a little bit slow, a little bit easy for the Irish guards to come and trap. So as they sped the game up and they're getting out of the press that little bit quicker, it was good. Defensively, they're going to have to find a way to keep the post players of Ireland out of the key, particularly Uzar towards the end of the quarter there was getting the ball too deep, and on the offensive rebounds was getting the position unopposed. So trying to find a way of stopping them getting position is going to be the key on the defensive end.
Absolutely, and changing our thoughts to the Ireland team, it's got to be more of the same for them. I'm really enjoying seeing the zone press. It's working very well. And then when they switch to the man press, maybe it didn't work so well. So maybe coaches are taking that into account in this timeout.
I think so, but I think it's nice to have that change up from an Ireland perspective. Coach Andy Gill, you know, very experienced coach. I've gone up against him many times over the years. You know, having that ability to go between player-to-player press, zone press, half court. That's just going to keep the Scotland team guessing. Ireland have got very good spacing in their offense. They're creating gaps. Scotland want to play aggressive up in the line. So Ireland are pulling them up high above the free throw line and creating backdoor opportunities, and that's going to be the key. You know, how are Scotland going to help on those situations when Ireland get that good spacing again?
Absolutely, and Uzar being a big vocal point of their offense. And how do Scotland counter that punch?
That's a very good question. We'll find out soon.
As it will be an Ireland ball to start the second quarter. Scotland coming in with Stupart, Alexander, Dick, Harrison, and
Eva Holborn-White.
We have Bean, Quillen, Livingston, Neeson, and Uzar for Ireland. And Bean to inbound.
Yeah, and this combination of Livingston and Uzar looks like it could be one to cause Scotland some problems inside. Let's see if Ireland look to go there early.
Some great length, as here is Uzar at the top of the key. Decides to drive, spins, lots of good defensive pressure this time by Scotland, forcing the pass outside, air ball shot by Bean.
Very good job by Eva Holborn-White there, you know, using her body, using the contact to put Uzar off, and then getting a good box out to prevent the offensive rebound. So if they can keep this going, then actually this is the way to counter that size threat.
Absolutely, and Libby Harrison helping off her player to double team the inbound as Scotland come down for the and one. One of the interesting things there is, you know, the matchup from Ireland was bringing the post players up into the press and just not quite as quick as the guards, which means that Scotland were able to break it with the passes a little bit quicker and get an open opportunity. Lovely and one we saw in the replay there, and the free throw is off the back iron. Quinlan to bring the ball up.
Good ball pressure here from Kiva. Stupart there.
That's Cara Dick. Touch on the ball, loose ball. Alexander comes away with it. Here is Stupart. Pass ahead. Harrison, Holborn-White in the corner, driving up and not in.
Another good opportunity created by getting an early pass out of the backcourt for Scotland, though.
Needham feeling the pressure. Referee calls a foul on the arm, sideline ball.
I think that's fair. The Ireland player had the advantage. Libby Harrison on the hip a little bit, reaching in and got caught with a hand in there.
Quinlan to inbound. Uzar catch on the elbow. Two Scotland jerseys around her. Can't get it to go.
And again, good defense. Libby Harrison, the smallest defender on the Scotland team, and able to get good contact on the post player for Ireland, Uzar.
Zana spins. Offensive rebound Scotland. Top of the key free. It's not good. Here's Bean. Looking for Quinlan. Defended by Alexander on the ball now. Quinlan crosses over. Comes through the lane, left hand finishes, blocked away by Scotland. Unfortunately stepped out of bounds, but what a defensive play, blocking the layup away.
It started with a very good move by Quinlan for Ireland, you know, good crossover getting down the lane, but Charlotte Alexander doing a good job of staying with it and playing vertical on the contest.
Here is Sophie Gallagher checking into the game for the first time today. Outstanding performance against Wales yesterday. And she will inbound the ball for Ireland. There's Quinlan in the corner, looking for Uzar. Catches on the low block. 2, 3 Scotland jerseys around, and the ball is loose on the floor. Surely a 3-second call in there somewhere. She's been in there for the whole possession. And a shot clock violation forced by Scotland. What a defensive effort.
I think so. It's obvious coming out of the quarter break that the coaches talked specifically about how they guard that interior presence of Uzar, and we've seen now 3 or 4 different Scotland players take that challenge and get good success.
Alexander inbound. Holborn White defended by Livingston. 2 defenders on her. Here's Alexander. Spins. Gets it to Dick in the corner. Defended by Gallagher. Gets a step. Finish at the rim is up and out. Unfortunate by Scotland. Offensive rebound by Scotland though. The 3 is up and is short, out of bounds, will be Ireland ball.
Again, from a Scotland coaching perspective, Bart Singers will be happy that they're getting to the rim. Just, keep the players confident that if they're finding these opportunities, they will start to drop. It's still only an 8-point game, so it's still a close game here, and Scotland can come back into it.
And just, unfortunately, steps out on by Neelan there. And Scotland's got to be happy with these offensive rebounds. They're getting a bunch of offensive rebounds, sometimes 3-4 in the same possession.
Particularly given that they're outmatched size-wise, it's showing that there's the effort is there. Offensive rebounding is all about effort, and that's something that the coaches will be very happy with.
Absolutely, you can't question the effort of both of these teams so far. It's been an outstanding game, and we saw Chigley about to check in for Ireland for the first time, but a timeout is called. I think Scotland's got to be happy of how they've swapped their defense to Uzar now. I
think so, and obviously there was a noticeable approach by Ireland to try and get the ball inside, whereas at the beginning of the game they were playing through their perimeter players a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see here if Andy Gill goes back to that perimeter-based style that they had early on, or if they try and find a way of making the interior action work.
It looks like they're going to stay big because you've got Bean, Summers, and all standing up on the timeout, and you've still got Uzar and Livingston sat down, and Chiggy about to start as well. So it looks like they want to go big.
From the Scotland perspective, what seems to be most effective for them is ball movement. If they can kick the ball ahead, if they can, create an advantage through their pace and ball movement, I think Bart Singers will be trying to emphasise that point with the team right now.
Absolutely, and we'll have a Scotland ball out of bounds, and maybe join up an ATO to get an easy score out of this possession. But as you can see, Ireland coaches wiping out their whiteboards as well. Maybe something to watch when they come down the floor on offense as well. Grace Alexander back into the game. Here is Dick to inbound. Man-to-man defense from Ireland. A box set on the on. Stupak collects the ball, fouled by Neelan.
Yeah, just got a little bit too close there. Kiva Stupak recognised that she had the advantage, attacked the defence, and the foul was the obvious call.
This time it was Stupak to inbound. Here's Dick. Crosses over. Alexander inside. Back to the basket. Back out. Holborn White. Looks for 3. Off the back iron. Here's Neelan. Pressure defense from Scotland. And Scotland come away with the loose pass. And referee late travel call there.
I think they call it a patient whistle these days. Always better to make the right decision than a quick decision. Again, Scotland looking to move the ball, passing there. They're creating out of their defence. So let's look to see if they continue that trapping defence here.
Absolutely. Here's Neelan, gets the step on her defender. Quinlan, Neelan, Uzar, catch high. Backdoor cut by Chiggy. Can't quite get it to go. Loose rebound goes in the favour of Scotland as Heron's about to check back into the game.
Really nice structured offence there by Ireland, moving the Scotland defence one side, coming back through the middle ball screen and creating a backdoor opportunity on the weak side. They'll be disappointed not to convert that, but it's they're running their actions really nicely.
Clara Dick takes the rest there, and what a performance we've had from a high-energy player. Here's Heron looking inside for Grace Alexander. Lovely move, and that is Supart collecting the pass and the 2 points.
Yeah, excellent post up there. You know, Grace recognizing she can't go 1v1 against the bigger defender and looking for the cutter coming down the lane.
Chiggy gets it on the weak side. Ball is knocked away, and a foul will be called. Better defense again by Scotland.
No, absolutely, and you know, we had Chidley picking up Kiva Stupart there. Stupart recognizing she had a pace advantage and just attacked her, picking up the fouls. So just checking this. I think that's Ireland now in just their second foul. Scotland on 4.
And you can see the intent from the Scotland girls. As soon as they get the ball, they want to run. And we're seeing a 2-3 zone here by Ireland. Another different look for the Scotland team to play on offense.
Oh, and very quickly Scotland seemed to have recognised it and got into a structured offense and found a good shot from Sophie Heron.
Yeah, Heron with the open look there, can't quite get it to go.
You can see the coaching staff are there really happy, not just with the shot they found, but actually the recognition that they're in a zone and the ability to change the offense. So
absolutely.
Positives for Scotland there.
As Summers checks back into the game for Ireland. Lots of pressure from the Scotland defence.
A little bit too much, unfortunately. You know, Summers was smart there. You know, picked up the ball, invited the defence onto her, but kept the ball safe and drew the foul to get out of the potential trouble.
Yeah, very slick player, Summers, as we have Gallagher to inbound. Referees want to talk it over, making sure the foul goes on the right player. Hi guys, this is Jacob Dearman. I'm joined by Donnie McDonald, under 16s Great Britain head coach, and we are in Cardiff here, the Cardiff Met Archers Arena. We are enjoying a very good game, aren't we, Donnie, between these Ireland and Scotland girls teams? Yeah,
it's been a really good battle. Both teams playing very aggressive defence. You know, I think both coaches finding it hard to get easy scores, but you know, the teams are competing really well. Absolutely,
the effort level was very, very high. As we have Sophie Gallagher to inbound the ball, trying to get to Summers, and does. Defended tightly by Grace Alexander, knocks the ball away. Summers retains possession, and the ball is knocked away again by Supart this time. Summers comes through the lane, spins onto her left hand. Can't get it to go. Great defense again by Scotland.
You know, credit to Summers there. She absorbed a lot of contact, a lot of pressure, but still found a way to keep the ball alive and score, get a scoring opportunity.
Gallagher stole the ball away, crosses over, can't quite get the layup up to go. And here we go, Scotland. A transition opportunity for Grace Alexander. Gets up and in.
Well, Scotland will be happy there. That's a defensive rebound very quickly turned into a score at the other end. You know, so the size disadvantage isn't such a big problem for them right now.
Absolutely. Summers can't get it to go. Couple not great offensives for Ireland, and here comes Scotland again. The layup attempt just goes out.
Yeah, I think if Scotland had scored there, Ireland might have been looking at a timeout to try and break the momentum a little bit. Scotland finding a little bit of ascendancy here with the pressure on defence and quick ball movement.
Here's Ireland. Summers. High ball screen. Here's Heron defending Summers.
Scotland making Ireland play very high above the three-point line here. Now they finally get some paint presence. They'll be disappointed with that. You know, 23.5 seconds of great defense and then a foul call. Let's see what the first call was from the refs here.
One referee called a shot clock violation, another one called a foul on the play. Scotland bench up and celebrating the shot clock violation. And it looks like that will be the call from the referees.
In which case, 24 seconds of great defense from Scotland. They just did enough to make Ireland work. If Scotland can keep Ireland playing for that long, far away from the basket, then it's going to be tough for Ireland to get scores. They'll be chasing the shot clock.
Absolutely, there's been some great defense by Scotland in the last few minutes here. Ireland finding it very hard to score as we're halfway through this quarter. We see Timmins checking back into the game for Ireland.
Ireland back in the zone here again.
Stupart for three, and it's good!
And Kiva Stupart's a very good three-point shooter, so playing against the zone, her eyes should be lighting up right now.
That's a massive shot there for Scotland as we have a one-point game. Here come Ireland. Timmins to the corner, Chiggy, and it's out of bounds. Scotland having their run right now. Can they take the lead on this possession?
Yeah, really competitive spell here from Scotland, you know, but interesting to see Ireland going to this zone. The pressure defence early on was giving them the advantage, and actually allowing Scotland to move the ball forward is actually letting them settle down and get a bit of recovery in.
Here's Gallagher grabbing the rebound, handling the pressure, crossing over again. Ball is knocked away. Heron comes away with it. Lots of contact, transition opportunity for Scotland. Fisher up and out. Heron offensive rebound. Stupak for 3 again. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound Scotland once again. Heron, extra pass, driving to the baseline. Misses for Scotland. The Grace Alexander's all over the play, as well as Sophie Gallagher.
We've got a possession there with 4 offensive rebounds for Scotland, and given the size advantage that Ireland have, I'm sure they'll be disappointed to see them bringing another taller player in here in O'Reilly to see if they can tighten up on the boards a little bit.
Absolutely, O'Reilly, a big player on both sides of the floor. Sellen with the offensive drive there, lovely move. And we had the jump ball between Alexander and Gallagher as the referees want to talk it up. Clara Dick looking to check back into the game. Same with go check for Ireland. Alexander to inbound the ball. Heron comes round. Get in Sellen, Dick. Drives left-hand drive. 2-3 defenders all over her. Can't quite get it to go. Rebound comes to Timmins for the team in green. And a foul call on Heron. Put her hands in the cookie jar.
Yeah, Timmins showed some nice ball handling there. The in-out dribble to get past Sophie Heron, and then from that point, Sophie's trying to recover. Just a little bit too much with the hands.
Laura go check to inbound. The lovely pink shoes once again. Summers. Screen by O'Reilly. Rolls. O'Reilly gets the ball off the pick and roll. Can't quite get it to go. Offensive rebound by Ireland. A second chance opportunity for Ireland.
Yeah, what we're seeing in that possession is just how comfortable Summers is in the pick and roll, and her ability to find the interior players is creating good looks for Ireland.
Absolutely, and this feels like an important part of the game. Who will be up at halftime? Scotland getting the lead down to just 1. Ireland trying to extend that lead back out.
Yeah, and for Scotland, that possession where they had 4 offensive rebounds and weren't able to convert will be kicking them a little bit just now, because, you know, that could have given them a lead, and right now Ireland's starting to look a bit more comfortable.
Summers skips past her defender, looking inside. Go check. Can't quite connect on the pass, out of bounds.
A real sense now that Summers is starting to take control of this game from Ireland, you know, dealing with the pressure that little bit better.
Absolutely.
Making it hard for Scotland to create out their defence the way they were earlier in the period.
Absolutely, it's Heron and Cara Dick. 2-3 zone showed again by Ireland. And a foul is called on the play. Dick will go to the line for 2. As Charlotte Alexander looks to check back into the game.
Yeah, good aggressive play by Clara Dick, getting to the rim there, not afraid to go up against the bigger defender, and protected the ball well with her body.
Absolutely. And Kate Behan still left on the bench for Ireland. It's definitely interesting in my opinion. And also Ava Booth, not selected to play this game at all. Speaking to her before the game, very talented player from yesterday.
I think obviously Ireland are at a point just now where they're a squad of 16 players. You know, this is building towards next year's under-18s for them. And so it's important that all of these players get experience. Equally, why they're trying different zone defenses, different player-to-player defenses, you know, all of these things are building blocks for Ireland as they look towards 2026, never mind 25.
Absolutely, and we have a foul called on the play.
Again, that's a shame because, you know, the pressure was causing them problems, and actually you don't need to put your hands in there. The pass might be stolen if you put them under pressure.
Stupak this time. As we have a 1-point game here, Ireland with possession. Summers. Defended close by Sellen. Sellen guarding O'Reilly now. O'Reilly looking inside. The shot is blocked away, but offensive rebound by Ireland and puts it back in for 2.
And this high-low offense there that Ireland run looks like something they could go to and get a good advantage. breaking the pressure here against Scotland. They were a bit lucky with that one.
Alexander splits the double team, stops, pops, can't quite get it to go. Here's Gocek, Timmins, jab step. Timmins crosses over, gets a step. And the left-hand layup is beautifully put in by Timmins there. Timeout for Scotland. And just like that, we're back up to a 5-point difference.
Yeah, good inside-out move there, but Bart Sangers will be disappointed with the 1v1 defense, and also the help was rotating from the wrong spots and a little bit late, so he'll be wanting to tighten up on that. You know, again, we've had a real quarter of waves here. You know, Scotland had a wave of activity where they got right back in the game, an opportunity to take the lead. Ireland seem to have weathered that storm and now coming back. We're here seeing the high-low again between the two post players with the score there at the basket. So, you know, it'd be good to see if Ireland can find a way of keeping going to that high-low. The Scotland don't really have the ability to contest the taller player making that interior pass, and obviously it's difficult to stop Ireland if they get deep seals with the size advantage they have.
Absolutely, and it's been what we kind of predicted at the start of the game. It's been slightly a chess match between coaches throwing in different defenses, and for Ireland, their 2-3 zone isn't exactly working the way they probably wanted. Are they going to stick with it for those learning moments, like you said, looking forward long term? Or are they going to change back into a pressure defense, full court, for example, which was maybe working a bit better in the first quarter for them?
You say a chess match. We've got two very experienced coaches here who've been to multiple European championships over the years. You know, Andy Gill with Ireland a number of times. Bart Sangers actually last year with the Netherlands under-20s team achieved promotion. They got the gold medal at Division B. So, you know, and he's been the assistant coach with the Dutch senior national team. So real experience on the coaching staffs here, which is why you're seeing punch and counter punch. And what's nice to see is the players adapting to that coaching and being able to change the game as it goes on. Absolutely
awesome coaching level from display here as we see Ireland go back into that full court pressure defense, but Scotland get a layup at the rim, can't quite get it go. O'Reilly's in there. Ireland come away with it. A little bit of the story of the game so far for Scotland. They're creating great opportunities. Coaches can't ask for much more. We just want to see them convert a little more. And Emily Hill getting her hands on the play, causing the 8-second violation. Great defense again from Scotland. Yeah, there's slightly a lid on the rim when Scotland get right down low. Some good offenses, can't quite get the 2 points they've earned. Absolutely, and again, backcourt defense there from Scotland. It is very solid. Here's Dick. Sutherland, defended by Timmins. Sutherland gets a step on a defender, and foul is called on the layup attempt. Last 2 minutes, these are big free throws heading into halftime. Yeah, and Scotland are doing a good job of that, you know, finding a way of getting 1v1 advantages for their guards. And they've got some guards who are good going downhill. They'll just be looking to convert a little bit more. I'm sure Nora Slay would have preferred this to be an and-one opportunity, but let's see if she can make the free throws. And first one up and out, unfortunately. But if you're the Scotland coaches, you have to say, keep doing the good things and the rewards will come. Absolutely. You know, the tough thing is getting the opportunities. So they weren't getting layup opportunities. I'm sure the Scotland coaches would be more disappointed. As she converts on the second one, trimming the lead to 4 points. Here is Summers, defended by Dick. This is a good little matchup here, you know, Clara Dick playing solid defense. Summers really comfortable with the contact. Absolutely, very high level for this age group, representing their nations the right way. As O'Reilly can't connect on the pass, but gathers the ball. Timmins in the corner, steps out of bounds. A little bit lucky there for Scotland. Nora Soleil had slipped in the key, which left a player wide open on the perimeter, but she just stepped out of bounds on the sideline. You get to have another look at this full court man-to-man pressure from Ireland. Risky pass there, but they got away with it. Stupart setting the offense. What can we run? Behind the back move. Drives. Dumps it off. Inside, outside. Here's Stupart in the corner for three. And it just goes in and out. It's a very good look for her. Again, someone that's made a three already, doing all the hard work, just can't get the points that she deserves. Summers defended by Dick again. Loving this matchup. And also really nice that the referees are allowing this level of contact. This is real European-style basketball. That's a little bit too much, though. Absolutely. Summers, she's going to be sore in the morning. She's had a lot of contact coming her way just in this first half. Do Scotland use that as a tactic thinking about the game as a long-term game.
I think so. The referees are letting them play. Summers is doing a really good job of absorbing the contact. You saw the referees thinking about the foul a couple of times there, but the player had absorbed the contact so well that they allowed the play to go. And then you've actually ended up with a situation where she's got herself to the free throw line.
Absolutely, not quite converting on the first one. Let's see if she can make the second one. And I'm probably going. And you're seeing Gocek and O'Reilly swapping positions on the free throw. Is that thinking about their full court pressure defense?
I would imagine so. I think they're going to look to press straight away here.
Eva Holborn-White checks back into the game. Stu Park getting a nice rest. Last 41.4 seconds.
It's back to this 1-2-2 zone press that caused problems at the beginning of the game.
2 on the ball. Extra pass, finds Alexander.
And again, the quick ball movement has been the solution for Scotland. They've done it well again there.
Sellen goes up and in. Nora Sellen there. Here's Summers defended, cozy by Dick. Looking for O'Reilly, can't go get it, and foul is called there.
A little bit too much contact again from Emily Hill on the switch there. You know, Summers absorbs it to a degree, but then when it's a bit much, she sells it well as well. Summers looking like a really solid point guard for Ireland.
Crafty player, and she is at the line for the team fouls. Both teams in team foul situations. That's a testament to how physical the game has been. And the referees, even though they're letting the players play, it's been a lot of contact at a high-level game, and Summers can't get the first one to go. Silence falls in the Cardiff Met Archers arena, and she can't get either of those 2 points to go.
There's nothing worse for a player than silence on a free throw line either. So
unfortunate there by Alexander, just tripping up Timmins, accidental contact, trying to get back in a defensive position.
Yeah, I think the challenge there was trying to pass it over the defender. That's really what the press wants you to do, is pass over the hands. They want to really try and pass around the body instead. The deflection then created the loose ball, and that's what's caused this foul.
Absolutely, and we saw the same thing with the Wales girls yesterday against Ireland. They're very tall, they've got some great size, so you have to try pass over a taller player to a smaller player. That just creates, it's not very easy to do.
And I think a big part of it is the receiver of the pass actually creating a better angle, not just standing where the coach has drawn the circles on the board, actually find a way of opening a line to make a pass out easier.
Timmins 1 for 2 at the stripe. Here comes Scotland, can't get the free to go. Ireland secure the rebound, and here the buzzer sounds. We have a 3-point lead for Ireland. Very entertaining first half of this competition.
Yeah, it's been a really good contest. You know, Ireland came out in the first quarter, looked like the stronger team, built a 10-point lead. Scotland started the second quarter really well, increased the tempo, moved the ball a lot quicker, dealt with the Irish pressure well, handled it when Ireland went to a zone. But now as we come to the end of the quarter, Ireland are back to their full court pressure, their zone press, and getting into the pick and roll offense, which has been drawing fouls and getting them to the free throw line.
Absolutely, and we didn't see Uzar that much in that second quarter. Are they thinking, giving her some rest, she will be a big threat looking into that second half?
Well, obviously the last couple of minutes of the first quarter, Uzar was getting some success, and the Scotland coaches adjusted to that and took that advantage away. So it'll be interesting to see if they go back and see if they can find that now again.
Absolutely, we're seeing some highlights, being a big threat, and we didn't see much of her in that second quarter as well, as Uzar gets an offensive rebound. And yeah, it's just been super entertaining. First half, we have some highlights again. Lovely move by Clara Dick. She's been very impressive, Johnny.
No, absolutely. I think Clara's known in Scotland for her defensive intensity and her competitiveness. She's been showing that really, really well in this game. Finished by Libby Harrison there with the left hand really strong. And this is a great play. Grace Alexander hitting Kiva Stupart, cutting down the lane for the layup. Very interesting quarter scores. We did mention the Ireland team struggling slightly more on offense. As you can see, only 7 points in that second quarter. No, absolutely. Scotland defense very good in the second quarter. Ireland struggling to get the same easy opportunities they got in the first. As I think we are going to have a quick interview with Gavin Williams.
We are joined by Gavin Williams. How has this weekend gone for you on your point of view? It's been brilliant for us.
Yeah, it's really great to host these events in Cardiff. Basketball Wales is really proud and honoured to host such a big event like the Home Nations. It's great to have England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland all come together to showcase some of the talent we've got here in the UK.
Absolutely, and yourself, you're a referee, and the referees here are putting on a great performance. Me and Donnie have been speaking about it. You're working with those guys as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, so each of the events we've had one in Scotland, one in Wales, and one in England. And at each of the events, we've had referee trainers. Normally, our FIBA referees, our international referees, coming together to try and train up the new talent that's coming through. And I think it's an invaluable experience bringing young referees to international competitions and hopefully put them on a pathway for hopefully becoming FIBA referees in the future.
Absolutely, and just a word on the support we've had this weekend. I think it's been outstanding from all 4 nations. Give us a word on that.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. Yeah, we always manage to sell out this arena. I think we managed to hit our ticket sales of like over 350 tickets sold, which is great. You know, every home nation brings their set of fans, the parents, family members, and yeah, they bring the noise, they bring the drums, and it adds to that experience. I mean, hopefully some of these players will go on and represent GB in the future, and when they go to environments in FIBA Europe competitions, they're going to be in loud, noisy arenas, and we want to sort of prepare them for that with these environments. So yeah, it's been really good.
Awesome, and there's a word on Basketball Wales, lots of changes going on this year. What can the fans on YouTube look forward in the future from Basketball Wales? Yeah,
I mean, obviously we're evolving as a home country. We're really thankful for the funding we're getting out from Sport Wales and the National Lottery. So we've got a new performance director joining us hopefully in the next month. I can't announce anything just yet. We're just going through the final stages of that. So bringing a performance director full time into Basketball Wales will hopefully then have an impact in our development, on our players and our coaches. It's not going to change things overnight, but hopefully over a 3, 4, 5 year period, we'll see some significant changes, which would be great.
Absolutely. So watch this space. Cool. Thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting on this weekend. This has been amazing.
No problems. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your work.
Okay, so we will take a quick break for halftime. The score is 29-26 to Ireland. Join us for the second half. And we are back. Joining us for the second half of this competition. As Ireland turn the ball over, Scotland will retain possession, and we're looking at another press. So in our halftime chat with Donny McDonald, mentioning to me that he's the National Academy lead for Basketball Scotland. Donny, can you tell us a bit more about that role and what it entails?
Yeah, essentially we want to try and make sure that we've got some consistency through our under 14, under 15, under 17 pathways right through to our senior team who are coming into the 3x3 camp for the Commonwealth Games next year. But we want to create an identity of what Scotland is, you know, working with all the coaches. We're very lucky to have in Bart Singers and Darryl Wood, two very experienced international and professional coaches that work with us and work with these players to try and help raise the standard. But also what we want to do within our National Academy is get as many coaches involved and help raise the standard of what we do at a national level. So we're always trying to create opportunities for our coaches to learn from the more experienced coaches who've been there and done it at the European and professional level. And then have the players have the opportunity to work with these coaches and help us develop a national style of play.
It sounds outstanding, Donny. And you mentioned in there the 3x3 side of stuff. Could you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, obviously next year, 2026, is a big year for Scottish sport, with the Commonwealth Games being hosted in Glasgow. So as the host nation, Scotland obviously have men's and women's, and both men's and women's running and wheelchair basketball. So it's a big year for Scottish basketball next year. The 3x3 format's brought a different element to basketball, I think, across the whole of the world, really. But certainly now we see in British sport, you know, the GB women going to the Europe Cup finals. The men were at the World Cup in Mongolia last week. The LA Olympics has got the 3x3, so it's a different format of the game, and you know, one that's really exciting for fans. You know, it being a such short and sharp game, it brings a completely different perspective on the game to a new group of fans.
Yeah, I absolutely love 3x3 myself, and I've actually been up to Glasgow the last few weeks with my own Four Nations tournament with the under-14s group, seeing that Caledonia Arena. Absolutely outstanding up there.
Well, that's my office through the week, so you know, we're very, very fortunate with the facilities that we have up in Scotland now, particularly in East Kilbride with Caledonia Gladiators. The investment from Alison and Steve Timoney has made a big difference to Scottish basketball, and hopefully it continues to grow the sport.
Absolutely, both Scotland boys and girls putting on a great show, representing their country this weekend. As Timmons splits the double team up and in for Ireland.
Another good move there, 1v1 getting down the lane. Ireland starting the second half very strongly.
Sellen drops it off. Blocked by O'Reilly.
A good look inside there for Scotland. Emily Hill probably just needs to take a little fake there before going up to score. You talked about the family connection of the Alexander sisters earlier on. You maybe don't know that Emily Hill is actually their cousin, so a real strong family connection in this Scotland lineup just now.
Absolutely, and Sellen drops in there too. And that's a massive part of team sport, isn't it? The togetherness and being part of a team, creating more than you would as a group of individuals, being an actual team. And you can really see that in that Scotland team, not just from the sisters and cousin, but the whole team.
No, absolutely. These girls have been together since 2021, really. The majority of them played in the first Home Nations tournament in Dundee back in when they were U14. A lot of these girls were actually U13 at the time, and they've stuck together. You know, they play for different clubs. They compete hard against each other all season long, but they've managed to stay in the sport and keep progressing. So it's awesome. Nice to see them competing here in this game against Ireland. Similarly, seen a lot of this Ireland team last year at the U16 event, and nice to see their progression on from that event as well.
Absolutely, being with the pass to the corner. Go check, can't get it to go. Chigley. O'Reilly inside, 3 on the clock, has to get it up, and doesn't get it to go though.
They're forgetting the play's still live.
Confusion on the floor. Summers, travel called by the referee, and we're already seeing Kate Behan coming straight into the game, making an instant impact, scoring points, getting steals and rebounds on the defensive side. We didn't see too much of her in the second quarter.
No, you spoke about it early on. She had a very good day yesterday. She started the game very well here. But as we said, Ireland are you know, a project working towards next year's European Championships. They're wanting to give everyone an opportunity to see how they play in a competitive game like this. So it'll be interesting to see what rotations they go to through the second half.
Here comes Summers. O'Reilly looking to get it inside. Foul on the play.
That's a difficult one. You know, Kiva Stupart doing everything she could inside. She's got a size mismatch there, but fighting hard to make it difficult for the catch. And I'm sure Bart Sengers, the coach, would rather give up that foul than a layup.
Here we go then. Go check to inbound for Ireland. Timmons through the elevator screen. Bean at the top. Drives, left-hand drive. Right-hand finish, gets it to go through 2 Scotland defenders.
Yeah, and we're really starting to see the captain there, Kate Behan, take the game to another level here for Ireland.
O'Reilly
I think
pokes
Bart
it away.
Sengers thinking timeout here.
Yeah, beautiful defense there by O'Reilly. Timmons reaps the rewards, and we have a 9-point lead for Ireland. Not how Scotland would want to start the second half.
No, not at all, but it's really been driven by Kate Behan leading this Ireland team, getting to the basket, creating some confidence, and then nothing gets you into a press with more urgency than getting easy scores. So the whole team, the whole bench are up and giving the encouragement to the team, and that's causing turnovers and allowing Ireland to get easy baskets.
Absolutely, and it's starting to snowball slightly. You go score, and then you can set up the press. Scotland aren't going that fast like they were in the first half, and then it began to snowball, repeat, and that's why coach has called the time out.
Yeah, I think he'll be looking to get back to what worked in the second quarter there. But equally, this is the game. You know, we've seen adjustments from Ireland. Scotland got some success. Ireland took that away. Now it's the turn of the Scotland coaches to find a way of stopping Ireland and turning the tide again.
Absolutely, and you see the whiteboard. He's drawing up something there, giving the girls some structure to work with, but also just playing fast seemed to work before. Could that work again? Yeah,
I think he's probably looking at spacing and how we create better passing angles to get out of the backcourt. Once they get in the front court, I think what Scotland have been doing is playing pretty free, not overly structured. Knowing these players, that's where they're at their best. Can we create space for them to attack 1v1 and get downhill? On the flip side of that, Ireland playing with more structure, with handoffs and pick and rolls and more actions. So it is a different type of game at both sides of the floor.
Here we go, Stupart in Mount Heron.
It's his own press coming again.
2 defenders on the ball. We get it to Cara Dick. She drives left-hand drive. Sellen and knocked away by B, and there she is again. And you can see the speed difference from that Scotland team, though.
I think Clara Dick will be disappointed there. You know, she got that deep in the paint. Probably the shot's a better option for her in that moment than the pass.
Yep, I agree. And here is Dick with the ball, defended closely by O'Reilly. Looking inside to Sellen. Green jerseys everywhere. Dick drives. Here is Sellen on the right side corner. 1 on the clock. Does not understand the time, and it's a turnover. Ireland will get the ball back.
Really good defensive possession there from Ireland. There were a number of times Scotland got in the paint, they collapsed in, took the drive away, but it was the recovery back out to the shooter that made it difficult for Scotland to get a shot off there.
Here is Summers. Behan. Driving all the way for a layup, can't quite get it to go, and she comes up with her own rebound, but foot on the line out of bounds.
Yeah, we talked about Summers in the second quarter, but it's really Behan here at the start of the third that's controlling the game nicely for Ireland.
Absolutely, it's Holborn White checks back into the game, gives Herburn a rest. Stalin crosses over, lots of pressure from Summers, steals away the ball, but the referee says illegally.
I think what we just like to see there from the Scotland players is a bit more movement. When the ball comes to one side, everyone's kind of holding their space a little bit too rigidly. A little bit more reading the space and trying to create a better passing angle for the player with the ball.
Holborn White to Dick. Not much space on the sideline here, defended by Summers. Hands all over the ball. Stupart on the left side wing. Drive, spins to the middle, blocked by O'Reilly, but foul is called on the play.
Really strong move there by Kiva Stupart, lovely spin, you know, taking the contact. We've seen real growth from Kiva Stupart over the last couple of years. She was part of the GB under-16s team that went to Division B last year and got promoted to Division A. She went in as one of the younger players, and we're seeing her now this season starting to step up and take the responsibility of one of the more mature players.
As we have a technical foul called on the coach, I can understand the frustration as we saw the replay. Riley won't be happy with the call. Neither is her coach, sorry, as we have a technical free throw now for Stu Parts. Lovely form technique and just can't quite get it to go. And she will be going to the line for her next 2 as well.
Yeah. Andy Gill got a warning in the first half for the technical, so you know he's certainly getting a little bit frustrated with some of the calls.
Yeah, and it's not the first coach technical we've seen this weekend. It shows how much the coaches care, and they have the same amount of pride as the players do with their nations. Yeah,
listen, it's part of the game. You know, they're trying to do the best to show some passion and keep their players engaged and back their players. You know, we've talked about the referees allowing contact, and that takes a little bit of getting used to for coaches and players. So.
Absolutely, got to be able to adapt. As Clara Dick missed dribbles, Behan is on the floor, and we have a jump ball called, quite quick jump ball. Ireland will be frustrated with that one as well because they came up with it. Scotland retained possession. Behan getting involved in the play again.
Yeah, a lot of activity there. Both teams scrapping for the ball, diving on the floor, showing that passion to play for the jersey. It's great.
We're just getting the sweat mopped up, and we are still here in the Cardiff Met Archers arena for the Scotland-Ireland game. It is a close competition. It's a 9-point lead for Ireland currently, as Scotland look to inbound the ball with Grace Alexander. Thanks for everyone watching on YouTube with us this whole weekend. We have this game and we have one more game coming today, the boys Wales versus England.
I think what's been really interesting about this tournament, and also the under-15s earlier in the month, this is the first year it's gone from previously being under-16 and under-18 age group tournaments to this year under-15 and under-17s. And currently we know that the Great Britain under-18s team is away out preparing for their European Championships in Lithuania. So it allows an opportunity for that year-young group to get proper competitive opportunities in the summer leading into the following year, both the under-15s leading into next year's under-16 tournament and this under-17 tournament. We could really be looking at players here who are involved in the under-18 teams for GB and for Ireland next year. So having this opportunity to have a tournament for teams that are a year young, so, out of the FIBA general age groups is a real solid move, I think, from the home nations. Yeah,
absolutely, it's a great idea, and we were seeing that with the under-15s as well, moving away from under-14s and 16s from the previous years.
Well, I think the 14s is still going. It's obviously the first age group to get everyone in, and that's again a really good competitive opportunity. But this is all about building for future years. The European competitions are there. But let's make sure that we've got good competition for the developing players who are going to be our future GB and Ireland teams that go to these tournaments.
This game is really upped the ante now. Summer's not happy with the call. Ireland bench not happy with the call. But they have to be careful, especially that coach already on one technical foul, can't afford to get another one.
It's a good contest, really, and everyone's getting emotional with the game, but I think the referees are doing a good job of allowing a good amount of contact without it being too much.
Out of bounds will be the call. Ireland will get the baseline out of bounds. A 10-point lead for Ireland as they have possession. Can't quite connect on the pass to O'Reilly.
Again, you just feel the tide shifted a little bit for Scotland here. They're creating more opportunities out of their press. Unfortunately, a turnover there that's going to lead to a scoring opportunity for Ireland.
By Charlotte Alexander on Behan.
Yeah, great way to get back there from Charlotte Alexander, not giving up on the play and taking away the score. But Scotland are now starting to create more out of their defence, which is what they did really well in the second quarter. Let's see if they can bring the score back into single figures again.
Libby Harrison checks back into the game. Timmins comes across, gets the screen, open, jump shot, off left. Ireland come away with an offensive rebound. looking for O'Reilly. Behan comes up with the ball.
And I think that's 2 offensive rebounds in the possession. Something Scotland did well in the second quarter was not allow those second chance opportunities for Ireland. So they're going to want to get on top of that again.
Yep, Scotland playing some strong defense, but just can't quite finish the possession. And Ireland will have the ball baseline out of bounds. Gocek shaken up on the play, maybe a bit of a dead leg. 2 seconds on the shot clock for Ireland to get a shot off. They'll probably look for Timmins to come across again. As she does, Timmins with the ball, 2 on the clock. And she doesn't know the time. Turnover.
Yeah, not aware of the shot clock there. But again, this is important learning for these players, you know. Sometimes when you play in a quiet gym, it's really easy to hear your bench calling down the time. But when you're playing on the opposite end to your bench and the crowd are cheering, it's hard to hear that. So the players need to develop that understanding of what the shot clock's saying.
Offensive rebound by Grace Alexander. She kicks out, gets it back for free, can't quite get it to go. Ireland ball out of bounds. Livingston checks back into the game. Another Ireland player with that great size we were saying about before. Yeah,
it's a very good look for Grace Alexander, who's a good 3-point shooter there, you know. Again, Scotland will be very happy with that offense. They got a good shot. That's the bigger thing. Okay, it's not dropped from them that time, but it's a good shot. Ireland will now be looking to get the same.
Here come Ireland, looking for Summers. Can't quite get it because of the pressure defense. And here is Summers
really
now.
Good job by the post player there to handle that pressure in the backcourt as they were being trapped by guards. And
offensive rebound by Ireland up again. And we have a foul call on the play. Another offensive rebound for Ireland. Scotland can't take care of business on the defensive glass.
No, and I think that's key. I mean, Scotland wanted the post player to be the one bringing the ball up the floor and get her under pressure, but she handled the pressure really well and then followed up for the offensive rebound, and now she's got the free throws.
Scotland crowd trying to make it difficult for the free throw shooter. Does not matter. We extend the Irish lead to 12 points. Here comes Dick. Left-hand drive, drops it off to Great Alexander. Can't get the layup to go. Summers with the rebound. Pass ahead is stolen by Holborn White. Holborn White gets it back. 3-pointer is up off the back iron. Grace Alexander trying to get the offensive rebound and wins the ball back for her team. Good effort by Grace.
Again, we're seeing Scotland create some good opportunities. Grace had the putback opportunity. They followed it up. Another offensive rebound. The hustle's great. They get the open 3-point shot for Eva Holborn White. And now they get possession again. The effort can't be faulted here.
Dick drives to the middle. Holborn White through lane, dumps off to Charlotte Alexander. Can't quite get the finish. Lots of contact on the rebound. The referee called a travel. Yeah, unfortunate there.
That's unfortunate. You know, a really nice pass by Eva Holborn White to Charlotte Alexander on the cut. Charlotte probably just a little bit deep under the basket for that layup. It's a difficult one to finish.
Yep.
Gets the offensive rebound, then just a little unlucky with the travel call.
And we see some man-to-man pressure from Scotland. Summers with the ball.
Once again, Summers is quite comfortable against that pressure though and gets Ireland nicely into their offense.
Timmins on the right side wing, drives middle. To Behan in the corner, can't get it to her because Holborn White gets a good deflection. And Grace Alexander will take a break.
This is really fun. We're seeing the England and Wales teams in the stands cheering on for the Scotland team here, because a lot of them potentially have been through GB combines together, attended camps together, and that's really nice. We saw some social media shared by Basketball England yesterday of the players between Scotland and England swapping jerseys after the game. You know, this is one thing that we don't necessarily talk about in tournaments like this, is how it builds connections between these young people that are going to be connections for life. And you know, it starts here with our home nations competition, but you see the same thing when you go to European Championships, the swapping the jerseys, the making friends from other countries. You know, this is fabulous life opportunities for these young people. You know, we always talk about the sport and the shots they make, the shots they miss, but actually when they get a little bit older, they will remember these times swapping jerseys and meeting new people as much as they remember the games.
As a backcourt violation by Timmins, and we just had a beautiful jump shot by Charlotte Alexander in transition. And absolutely, Donny, the whole thing of basketball, and this is what it's all about.
And I think credit to Basketball Wales this time. 2 weeks ago it was Basketball Scotland and then Basketball England at the beginning of the month. All of these tournaments have had a fabulous atmosphere. It's been friendly. It's not been hostile in any way. The spectators have done their bit by being really positive towards the players. They've been great events to showcase British basketball and Irish basketball, obviously.
Kate Bean stealing the ball away. She gets an offensive rebound from the Summers miss. Bodies on the floor. There is Summers. Livingston using that size for the offensive rebound and put back two. And the whole Ireland bench is up celebrating the score.
Yeah, I think the challenge there, Libby Harrison's not going to be able to out-jump Livingston from Ireland, so she's got to get a body on her earlier rather than just going for the ball. But Livingston doing a great job of coming on the high side for that offensive rebound.
As Charlotte Alexander is fouled by Summers in the full court, she's picked up her third. She has to go to the bench. Sophie Gallagher gets a chance to make her impact in the game again. And that'd be good for us. Anything good for Scotland, seeing the back of Summers there going down the bench.
I still have Bean, though, who's been playing very well in this third quarter. She's played pretty much most of this quarter, I think, now.
Absolutely. As Heron gets deep inside, up and off, but offensive rebound again. Ireland come away with the ball.
I think maybe a kick out there might be a better opportunity. You get the size of Ireland, you get the one opportunity. The defense is all on the key. From a Scotland perspective, kicking out, looking for an open perimeter shooter might be the better option. We've seen it a few times now where, get the offensive rebound and try to go up, but it's difficult against this Ireland team.
Smart play by Bean there, only with 2 seconds in the backcourt. Passing over the stripe, and Ireland spin for another layup.
I think Sophie Heron was doing everything she could there, just outmatched physically, unfortunately.
Holborn White, Sellen. Beautiful move, can't quite get it to go. Here's Gallagher coming the other way, crosses over. Crosses over again, good defending by Charlotte Alexander.
And we say it again there, Scotland doing a great job, Nora Soleil getting to the basket. It's been the story of the game, unfortunately, creating good opportunities and not able to finish them.
Good job on the Ireland coaching staff there, saying to Sophie Gallagher, what's next? Her next job, and she's straight onto the defense, defending the inbound pass. What's next mentality, super important in a game this close.
No, absolutely. And I think now this is an important period here for Scotland. They'll want to finish this quarter quickly. If they can get it back to 10 or less by the end of the third quarter, they'll feel confident going into the final period that they've got a chance still in this game.
Sue Park can't quite get it to go. There's Gallagher again with the rebound. And which way the referee said, off an Ireland body last.
Again, Scotland doing a good job of continuing to play after the miss. Putting pressure on Ireland, not letting them get up the court too easily.
Holborn White inside, 7. Tipped away by Bean. She is an outstanding player on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, she's had a really good game. First half set the tone and has come in the third quarter again and helped Ireland establish that double-digit lead.
It's just brilliant to see from our perspective. Someone so talented on the offensive side, putting all that effort and energy in on the defensive side, working hard for a team.
I think it's a hallmark of Irish basketball. Everyone across Europe's got a lot of respect for Irish basketball. They have a style of play that's unique and that makes them very, very hard to play against, and they keep sticking with that structure as Kiva Stupart knocks down the 3 off the inbounds play.
It's a great shot by Stupart there. Trims the lead again, but here comes Bean.
Yeah, and a stop here for Scotland and a score would get it back to single digits and then give them some confidence going back into the fourth. So let's see if they can get it done on the defensive end.
Looking for Bean in the corner, can't get it to her. And the layup is up and in, extending the lead for Ireland. Yeah. Exactly what Scotland did not want. The last possession here, shot clock is off. Charlotte Alexander. It's unfortunate, I think. That's a tough call.
And again, that interior presence for Ireland's been in the first quarter, and again now at the end of the third quarter is starting to cause Scotland some problems.
Absolutely. Here we go with Timmins. Last offense of the quarter. She gets inside. Livingston's there. and doesn't get it to go as the buzzer sounds.
Yeah, Scotland getting a little bit lucky there. They gave up an easy drive into the key, a nice dish off to a cutter. That could have extended the lead back out just when Scotland were showing a bit of momentum, but you know, a 13-point lead to Ireland going into the fourth quarter here. You know, there's work to do for Scotland. They've shown signs. If they can just start to convert a little bit more around the basket early in the fourth, we could have a really good contest going into the final minutes of this one.
Absolutely, and being with her fingerprints all over this game, in the first and third quarters especially. And we haven't seen Uzar back into the game yet either for Ireland. What would you think about that, Donny?
Yeah, no, that's been really interesting. You know, we talked about it, end of the first quarter, she got a lot of success. Second quarter, Scotland took it away a little bit. They've gone to different post looks inside for Ireland here. Again, we've talked about it, Ireland looking at trying to work through their squad of 16 players, find out as much about all these players as they can. Listen, these Irish girls are all competing at a high level. They've got a very strong league structure in Ireland. A lot of girls playing the sport. They've done a fantastic job of that over the years of finding good athletes that not only play basketball. A lot of these girls will play other sports like Gaelic football through the summer. We've seen this summer a number of Irish girls going to high-level colleges in the States. So, you know, Irish basketball is in a good moment. Claire Melia from their senior team out playing with Baxi Ferrol, reaching a Euro Cup final. You know, Irish basketball, particularly on the women's side, is in a really, really strong position right now, and you know, they're building on that. They've got some good talent coming through in this team.
That's awesome. And what would you be saying in this timeout to the Scotland team? It's a low-scoring contest, 13-point deficit, 10 minutes left in the game.
I think it's about confidence at this point in time. You know, they've been creating the looks that they want. It's just about, you know, having that confidence. You don't want to kill their confidence. You know, anytime a player misses a layup, naturally their confidence will be killed. So the last thing the coach wants to do is actually impact that even further. You just keep making that message, hey, look, we're creating layup opportunities, so let's keep doing that, keep the defense. That's giving us the opportunities to get into the lane and get good looks at the basket. Just believe in yourself. You know, these girls practice and play a lot. You know, if they just keep that focus through the end of the game here, it doesn't take much for it to become a close game, and the pressure then goes on Ireland.
Absolutely, and as you see, both teams' togetherness is so strong. As you see Bia, the captain, giving some advice to Gallagher there, calming her nerves. A couple of mistakes for Gallagher, not like her at all. Very strong in the first half and yesterday. Stupart to inbound. Herben defended closely by Bian. Knocked away. It seems like Scotland will retain possession here.
Again, there Ireland with a very good on-ball defense, making it difficult for Sophie Herron to initiate an offense.
It's Holborn White. Stupart.
That'll be interesting to see if Scotland can exploit that. You know, can we pull the interior players of Ireland out to the perimeter and attack them out there rather than, you know, keep them on the inside where they can protect the rim and make it difficult for the Scots to get that layup. From Ireland, they'll be the opposite. They want that rim protection. They want to try and keep the taller players close to the rim. So let's see how that battle works out between the two teams.
Absolutely. I'm looking at this Ireland team right now, and I'm struggling to find a weakness. Like you say, can we bring a taller player out onto the perimeter though, where they're not comfortable? As Bian comes across, dribbles across the whole three-point line, looking for Livingston on the handoff, taken away by the Scotland girls, and a turnover is forced. Good defense there, Holborn White, and by Clara Dick.
Yeah, and I think what Scotland did, an all-round good defense there. They took away the backdoor cut first, then they denied the handoff. So, you know, they've clearly identified the action that Ireland are trying to run, and they've come up with a strategy to take it away.
Herben defended by Bian again. Between the legs. Here's Dick on the drive. Spins to the middle, right-hand floater is good.
Very nice turn and finish in the paint. I think what you saw there from Clara Dick is taking her time, not rushing the shot, you know. The stop and the pivot and the soft finish is exactly what she needs to do.
It's exactly the start Scotland want, forcing a turnover, getting a stop and scoring them themselves. Can they get another stop and another score here?
Well, it's funny how in sport the momentum can shift, and now it's a single-digit lead for Ireland, and that's giving Scotland a bit of confidence again. Ireland with another turnover there, the Scotland pressure causing a bit of problems. So, you know, a score here could really change the game.
Absolutely. Holborn White drops it off to Dick. Same shot again, same result.
It's really interesting what Scotland are doing here. They've got Clara Dick, who's normally a point guard, playing in what you would normally call the 5 position. But where that gives them an advantage is it's a smaller Irish player that's in the paint. So, you know, the contest isn't there. So really smart play here from Scotland. It'll be interesting to see how Ireland adapt to that.
As we have a 9-point lead for Ireland. Foul is called on the Scotland defender. Livingston to inbound. Now you've got to feel for Sophie Gallagher. She's been super strong all weekend. There's a couple of mistakes, and you can see it's having a little bit of an effect on her. As a coach, it's tough.
Well, she won't be used to guarding in the post, right? And I think this is we talk about positionless basketball. Often people think that means bringing the taller players out and having everybody shoot 3-pointers. But having a small player who understands how to play in the post area can also create a big advantage. And you're seeing that with Clara Dick going in and posting up, and you know, sometimes getting the score, sometimes passing. But having that all-round ability to recognize I've got a size advantage, then actually the post is the right place for me, even if I'm one of the smaller players on the Scotland team. You know, I say smaller players on the Scotland team, they're all about exactly the same height, but it means that switching's pretty easy. But you know, what they've done there is recognise, okay, smaller Irish player, let's get her inside, and that's good recognition from Scotland.
As we see, Bean is about to inbound the same Irish baseline out of bounds set that we've seen throughout the whole game. Surely Scotland have their number now. We will find out.
Yep, really good job.
Do.
Really good job of recognising the elevator and switching out on it and denying the pass to the corner. Clearly something the coaches have talked about in one of the timeouts.
Awesome job by the coaches there. Bean again to inbound. Same set, looking for Timmins on the elevator.
And now Ireland have created the inside opportunity. They missed it, that we had Livingston wide open under the basket.
It's Stupart, lots of contact on the play. Gallagher not happy.
Yeah, I think actually Gallagher did a good job with her body. The problem was she reached in with the hands, and as soon as the hands, we see the replay here, as soon as the hands reach out, like you see here, it's going to be a foul.
Absolutely, and it seems like she'll be taking a break for Summers, checking back in, but we have a timeout called. And it's exactly what you wanted to see from the Scotland team coming into this fourth quarter, getting the lead back down to single digits in less than 2 minutes. And I think Ireland are still scoreless this quarter now.
Yeah, and I think this is a good timeout by Andy Gill here. You know, Scotland have adapted to Ireland, and now let's see, can we get the counter punch back from Ireland to take that away. Still haven't seen Azur come back in this second half, which is interesting. But it will be interesting to see if they go to a bigger guard to try and take away that advantage Scotland have by posting up the point guard.
Yeah, well, we saw Summers checking back in before the timeout, but it's actually being stood up in the timeout. So, coach there trusting Gallagher, letting her play through it, and it's great learning opportunity.
That's good
for her.
coaching. You know, I think that we've talked about it. You know, we said in the break about Scotland trying to give them confidence. It's the same for the Irish players. You have to let them play through these moments and learn from them and take those steps forwards, because there's going to be difficult times when it comes to tournament in European Championships for Ireland in the future, at club level, wherever they go on to. So giving these young players the opportunity to play through difficult moments is really great learning, and I think that's been good coaching from both coaches.
Absolutely, and in the Scotland timeout, you've got to be saying, don't let this timeout disrupt this run. Let's keep it going, keep it rolling, keep the momentum. This timeout's trying to disrupt Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think Scotland have kept their rotation really tight. You know, I think they've probably only gone 10 deep so far. This is a winnable game for Scotland, and so it's very important that these girls learn how to win games. Everyone's got to learn these roles in a team. You know, sometimes you play 40 minutes, sometimes you play 2 minutes, sometimes you don't play. This is international basketball, and all of this is learning opportunities for the player. How do I deal with those moments where I'm playing more, where I'm playing less, where I'm not playing at all, but still give something to the team? You know, we see it with Ireland. You know, four players who today's their day to sit out. Some players playing bigger minutes, some players playing less minutes. This is what performance basketball is all about, and you know, everyone's got to be able to take on board the role that's needed of them on a given day.
Summers drops it off to Timmins. gets Ireland moving on the scoreboard.
And that's exactly what they wanted out of the timeout, you know, a good structured offense creating a score.
A foul called on Ireland. Dick will go to the line for 2.
Quite obvious now, though, they've switched the post player onto Clara Dick in an effort to take away that interior advantage. But again, smart from Clara Dick attacking 1v1 on the perimeter. The reach-in foul there sends her to the line.
Absolutely, two free throws to come, makes the first one. And yeah, 2 inside right-hand finishes for Clara Dick, and this time driving with the left hand. That's good versatility from her. That gets both of them to go. Important free throws, 9-point game, single digits. Here's Summers back into the game.
Good aggressive defense on the pick and roll there.
That's a tough call from the referee. I don't think Grace Alexander could have done much more. Ireland will go to...
Just slightly late on the rotation there, which means she's a little bit deep, and it's hard for the referee to call anything else in that situation. You know, when you play aggressive defense on the ball within the pick and roll situation, you also need to then have the rotations on the back line to make sure you take away. Summers excellent passing out of pressure. You know, finding the roller there, going to the rim, and you know, this is again good learning for this Scotland team. They won't necessarily be used to playing against this level of post players, so that rotation defense is really important for them as well.
Absolutely, Summers been outstanding today, handling the pressure. That's no good on the second free throw. Here comes Scotland.
Really nice recognition of the 1v1 advantage on the perimeter there by Nora Soleil. You know, using her speed and getting to the rim, and a really soft finish on that one. And a good defense causing the turnover for Scotland. This is what they've been doing well in phases through the game. Let's see if now they can convert this and put pressure back on Ireland.
Ireland into their man-to-man full court pressure defense, and Summer again comes away with the ball.
I think that's unnecessary from Nora Soleil there. You know, we saw Caitlin Summers there taking the step through, but still Nora was in a good position to just play vertical. She reached in and went for the ball, and that's exactly what the offensive player wanted. And here we have Azur coming back into the game. Let's see if they can re-establish her in the post like they did early in the game.
Absolutely, Caitlin Summers got fingerprints all over this game from Metazors BC. They must be very proud of their player representing their country as she's at the line for 2 free throws, making the first, extending the lead again. Heron trying to get in, finds Dick. Dick picks up her dribble.
A little bit more of delay pressure here from Ireland, which is smart. Scotland are waiting for the trap to come. It's not coming, and then the time is coming off the clock. So, you know, this little change up here, it looks the same, but it's slightly different, and that's caused a little bit of problems there for Scotland.
Absolutely, and Gallagher getting the 2 points on the other end. Uzar coming away with the rebound. Loose ball. Uzar does get it finally. Here is Caitlin Summers. Lots of contact, no whistle from the referees. Baseline, out of bounds, block shot there from Scotland. Holborn White to check back in for Clara Dick.
Yeah, I think a lot of contact on that play, but the defense can't do any more. The offense is attacking. Who's initiating the contact? I think the no call is the right thing from the referees again there.
Absolutely, and Stupart should get the block credited for her stats. Here's Uzar inside, left-hand finish, can't get it. Gallagher, offensive rebound, smallest player on the court. Come Ireland, redrive. Gallagher again for 3 off the back iron. Uzar, offensive rebound. Gallagher once again can't get it to go.
Scotland a little lucky there. Uzar really starting to give them that interior advantage. Just unable to finish at the rim.
Here is Gallagher with the defensive rebound.
Maybe a little unlucky on that one. That looked like the contact actually affected the shot.
Timmons. Timmins gets all the way inside, can't get the rim to go in. Uzar, and it feels like Ireland now are the ones with the lid on the rim.
Absolutely, it must be that basket, I think, Jacob. Scotland struggled there in the first half. Now the second half, Ireland are having the similar struggles around the rim.
As Scotland get it down to a 10-point lead as we enter 5 minutes left of this quarter. Here is Livingston. Travel called, changing her pivot foot, good call by the referee.
You can see a notable attempt here by Ireland to try and establish Azure inside there. We had Livingston desperately trying to get the ball inside, but you know, Grace Alexander did an excellent job of fronting the post and making the pass inside impossible.
Absolutely. Now we have Heron with Charlotte Alexander checked back into the game. Gallagher defending the ball. Heron gets a step on her. Out to the corner. Inside, Grace Alexander fakes a handoff, spins, turns again, back on herself, up and in.
That's a tough shot by Grace, but you know, good fake to create the space to get the shot up.
Grace Alexander, the young age-group player, has got to guard the big body of Azure. Very good experience for her.
No, absolutely, and you know, we talked about Grace earlier on. She actually has played up all the years, even in under 14s. When she was in under 12, she was in the Scotland team, so she's been around these older players all those years. And you know, she's still U15, but she was one of the top scorers in the Scottish under-18 league this year. That combination
and you can see why they're calling offensive foul on the spin movement basket.
Good
Grace
job by
Alexander.
Caitlin Summers there, using her experience to take it away. So we go to the replay here. You know, Grace, nice job of attacking. Okay, Caitlin establishes position. You just see the hand of Grace Alexander going up there and initiating the contact. Good call by the referees.
Unfortunate for Scotland, as that would have trimmed the lead even closer, as Uzar is going down the bench, but it doesn't get any easier because O'Reilly is back into the game.
No, Ireland obviously have that depth in the post to go to that Scotland haven't, but so far Scotland doing a good job against the post players in this fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Bean back into the game for Gallagher as well. 2 shots to come. Are we in team fouls already? Yes, we are. Yeah. Scotland's in team fouls early. 4 minutes 20 left.
Yeah, in the pick and roll there, you've got Grace Alexander, probably more used to being the guard in the situation and just holding the post player as she rolled. Good recognition by Timmins on the roll. Oh, sorry, not Timmins. O'Reilly on the roll. That you know, they were playing aggressive, so she slipped out of it early and created a good advantage inside.
There's O'Reilly for a second free throw, gets it in. She's been very impressive all weekend as well. As Timmins steals the ball away, finds O'Reilly, drops it off. Livingston, left side finish. Can't get it to go, offensive rebound again. O'Reilly's in there.
Oh, again, you just feel like Scotland got a bit lucky there. You know, 2 scores could have made a big difference.
Lots of contact.
Yeah, foul.
And Summers is really not happy with that call. She is on at least 4 fouls, maybe her 5th. I
think she needs to be a little bit careful. You know, great attack here, and you know, Kiva Stupert goes straight up. It's, you know, she gets it on the arm. There's no question it's a foul. From the referee's perspective, you know, you have to be careful with those reactions.
Absolutely.
And maybe just a little bit lucky there.
Coach not happy on the play either, but he has to be careful as well. For the rest of the game, Summers on 4. That will be helpful for Scotland. Can they exploit that?
Although if Kiva goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line, they got a little bit lucky there after the score, a turnover. And come down and score at this end of travel there from Grace Alexander as she goes to the rim. But, you know, Scotland want to make sure that they're not giving these backcourt turnovers up at this point of the game. They've really got to get a good spell of stops and scores. You know, try and make it close. We're into under 4 minutes left to go.
Here is Summers, guarded by Charlotte Alexander. Some good defense. O'Reilly setting the screen. Timmins in the corner, decides not to shoot, decides to drive, up and out. O'Reilly is there, offensive rebound, fouled. O'Reilly, a big threat on the offensive glass.
Yeah, and she got good position for the offensive rebound. Probably, again, from a Scotland perspective, The foul's better than layup. Make her earn it from the free throw line at this point in time.
It's a good foul we're seeing then on the replay from Charlotte Alexander, as she will take a break.
It's a really interesting phase of the game. You know, the score is still close enough with just over 3.5 minutes to go. But Scotland need to get some stops.
And Riley converts from the line.
Yeah, and again, pressure free throws here for Ireland. If you can make them down the stretch, then that could be the decisive factor in the game. 1 for 2.
Second one rims out. Robin White. Here comes Scotland. Slightly getting each other's way. Clara Dick gets all steps through, left-hand finish. Can't get it to go. Back outside. And we have an Ireland ball.
It just felt a little bit rushed. You know, they never really got their structure. The spacing wasn't what they would normally expect, and didn't quite get the looks that they were wanting there, Scotland.
Absolutely is. O'Reilly actually takes a break, wants some coaching in a little break, but Summers handling the ball. Fakes a handoff to Behan. Comes inside, layup attempt is off. Here comes Scotland. Dick driving inside, some contact, and the whistle is called.
Again, we said it, free throws now down the stretch could be crucial. We see Clara Dick attacking on the left hand here. Does a really nice job of using her body to draw the contact, and the defender's got no way getting out of that.
Timmins just reaching a hand in there, picking up a foul, sending Clara Dick to the line for 2.
I do apologise to the Irish fans watching. I don't have number 17's name on our sheet in front of us here, so she's had a really solid game on the offensive end. Be interesting to see now if they go and look for her again.
I'm good at gamble is Annie Tinton. She was brilliant yesterday. Clinton, sorry. But we're not 100% sure. So here is Summers.
Good defense from Sophie Heron here, putting pressure on Summers coming up, but again handling that contact really well into the pick and roll.
Here is Clinton.
That combination's worked really well for Ireland all game. I think, you know, it's no surprise that Coach Gale's gone to that at the end of the game. And we have been forcing the turnover again in a score. That's a big momentum play there for Ireland.
Absolutely. You know, lots of contact, and a blocking foul will be called. Oh, Ireland coach is very not happy with that call. Let's have a watch of the replay.
I think you can understand because she's stationary. However, the rule says that the contact needs to be on the torso, and I think the contact was on the hip there. So, again, the referee's with the correct call.
As O'Reilly does check back into the game, I think it is Clinton taking a break, unlucky with that foul call, but as we said, the right call in the end. Head of referees Gavin Williams is agreeing. Not good on the first. It's also hard for a defender that's not the primary defender.
I'm laughing here because Gavin Williams is obviously doing the referee's assessment sitting next to us, and he's just said what we've just said. So, you know, I only have a level 2 refereeing qualification from 2007, so glad to know that I'm still kind of up to date with some of these rules.
Iron sharpens iron. We are sat right next to Gavin Williams, who's at the spear end. And
you talked about it with Gavin at the halftime. The development work with the referees over the 3 tournaments has been excellent. It's been really noticeable how the referees have developed as well as the players have developed over the course of the not just the games but the tournaments. We've seen a lot of these referees in Manchester, in Glasgow, and here in Cardiff, and you know, coaches, referees engaging with each other is a really positive thing for the sport, you know, as we try to develop our style of play.
Absolutely. Ireland coach is not happy with the rush shot attempt by Ireland last possession down.
No, that's unlucky there. A good look inside, nice pass. Just rushed the shot a little bit, probably worried about the length of Ireland coming in to protect the rim.
And if you are Ireland, time is now your friend.
Yeah, it's difficult. Scotland need quick turnovers, quick scores really at this point in time.
And they get one here. O'Reilly getting the ball poked away and touching it last before the out of bounds as we enter the last 2 minutes of this competition. So long offences if you're Ireland, taking time off that clock. And if you are Scotland. Lots of quick offenses like we have now. Horban White. Can she get out of the basket? No. Super outside for free.
It's a good look for a good shooter, so you'll be fairly happy with that offense, but just a shame it doesn't fall for Scotland. Now Ireland will want to use clock.
Absolutely. Summers trying to buy a call. Referee's not buying it.
Very
the
good
ball's knocked
defense.
away.
Clara Dick with an excellent hedge, timed it perfectly. Leads to the basket.
Beautiful defense and score by Clara Dick there. Summers handling the ball again. Screen coming by O'Reilly.
Again, good pressure here. Scotland trying to force something early.
Good help from Clara Dick there, forcing the miss. O'Reilly's there on the rebound, but it goes to Scotland out of bounds as we enter the last minute of this game.
And again, you know what Scotland have done there is gone and pressured. Okay, they've not forced a turnover, but they forced a quick shot. So Ireland are getting a shot off and not taking the time off the clock the coach would have probably liked her to. And you can see the assistant coaches there talking about just trying to understand the game situation. Again, this is all learning. We want these close games for these young players to learn from these moments. You know, how do we manage the clock in a close situation? Can we finish our opportunities around the rim and make our free throws down the stretch? You know, all of this is really important learning for these young players at this stage of their career.
Absolutely, and if you're the Scotland coach right now, what are you saying? Are you drawing up a play for a player like Eva Stufart that can shoot the ball very well?
I think at this point in time, plays aren't the way to go. They've got to find a way of getting quick scores. So it might be an early offense concept to try and get them going downhill. Maybe they get the layup, maybe they get the fouls. But they want really quick scores rather than long offenses. From Ireland, it's the opposite. You know, they want to take as much time off the clock. Probably going to inbound from the backcourt here to give themselves a 24 rather than a 14-second offense. But Ireland want to make sure that they now play without fouls, because the fouls are both teams in team fouls. Anything that stops the clock is advantage to Scotland.
Absolutely, yes. It seems that Scotland have opted to take the ball on their own base.
Sorry, in my head it was Ireland inbounding, but of course it was an offensive rebound that got tipped out, so Scotland with the ball.
Grace Alexander checking back into the game. Stupart to inbound. Are we seeing the press by Ireland? We are. It looks like.
Well, it'll be interesting to see though, is it a trapping press here or a delay press? Are Ireland going to stag back and just allow Scotland to dribble the ball a little bit more? Okay, because the danger with a trapping press is that you get fouls. But yeah, again, just trying to delay the ball. Scotland attacking downhill early.
Grace Alexander, quick free, like exactly what we wanted, doesn't go. Charlotte Alexander, offensive rebound. Lots of hands there by O'Reilly. And the 3-second call,
That's inevitable, really. A good job by Charlotte Alexander to go in and take the offensive rebound. But what Ireland have done really well is deny the kick-out pass. Charlotte can't go up against the taller defender. It's got to look for a pass, but Ireland do a great job of denying.
Heads-up play by Scotland, attacking Summers that they know is on 4 fouls, and she can't play as much strong defense as she would like to, and she's shown throughout this game. Defended by Horban White now. Middle ball screen, rejected. Finds Timmins on the weak side.
It's Summers' ability to handle the different coverages in the ball screen has been a difference maker. And again, that's created the inside opportunity for Timmins.
Stewart spins, lots of contact on the ball, and it's an Ireland ball out of bounds.
Yeah, no, I think Ireland did a good job of playing with verticality there rather than too much contact. So good move by Kiva Stupart, attacking, quick spin move, but very good defense from Ireland to take away the scoring opportunity.
And if our time is right on the clock, there is 11.4 left, and it's interesting timeout from Ireland. Are they going to advance the ball, getting the ball safely away from their own basket?
Yeah, and again, you know, the front court's the best way to take the ball away from this basket. Very difficult now for Scotland to come back into this game. But what I think we've seen is a really good contest. It's been competitive through all 4 quarters. You know, I think both coaches will be pretty happy that they've got something out of this game. Yes, there's been some things they'd like to see improved, but overall what you want is competitive games to see how your players handle these situations. And right now you've got an opportunity with 11 seconds left in the game to try a sideline out of bounds offense and practice something that might come back and be useful for you in the future.
Absolutely, and if you're Scotland, they may be fouling whoever catches the ball, or so if you're Ireland, are you looking to score, or are you looking to get the ball into your best free throw shooter's hands?
I think here, obviously, Scotland may be trying to minimise the score, so I'd be surprised if they foul here.
Oh, it's an unlucky by Grace Alexander. Jump ball is called. Scotland do get possession, but it looked like she was away for a fast break layup with a steal.
Yeah, and from Andy Gill's perspective, you know, you've taken the time out, drawn up a play. He'll be frustrated with that, you know, they don't get anything out of it. But, you know, again, valuable learning for him. Here
is Dick. Backdoor cut, Holman White finds Alexander under the basket, gets it off after the buzzer, and that brings us to a close. Ireland taking second place of this tournament, 62-50 to the girls in green.
No, a really, really good contest. You know, looking at the scores yesterday, you probably anticipated this was going to be a close game for the, you know, both teams playing for the silver medal, but from the supporters' perspective, a really good game of basketball to watch. Two very different styles of play, although the pressing, there was a similar element from both teams, but you know, Ireland looking for that interior advantage, which ultimately paid off for them. And I think for me, it was the two guards, Bien and Summers' ability to handle pressure, and particularly Summers' ability to play in the pick and roll was a big difference maker for the Irish team.
And yeah, like you were saying, the matches up on defense, some great coaching we saw from both sides of the team, and it's a brilliant learning opportunity. Even if you win or lose, you can learn a lot from games like this, and that's what this tournament is all about.
No, absolutely. You know, you saw adjustments from both coaches. Ireland get a double-digit lead. Scotland bring it back to 1. Ireland pull out again. Scotland bring it back. You know, it was a real battle of not just the players, but also the coaching. But what's really nice to see is the players' ability to take on board that coaching and make the adjustments that their coaches are asking them to do. This is what high-level basketball is all about. You know, the game will change. Tactics change during a game. You have to go away from your game plan, find a new game plan, and execute. So, again, from that perspective, this has been a really solid game for both teams.
As we are going to get an interview here with the Ireland head coach. Ireland have to be very ready to get their carry back, so we're going to do the presentation for the Irish teams before they go.
Yeah, and we've got Ireland head coach Andy Gill with us here. Andy, what are your thoughts on what seemed like a very competitive game against Scotland there?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, kind of two like-minded teams really, in the sense of what we tried to do defensively. So we matched up pretty well actually, and we kind of got out on that lead there, and we struggled a little bit against their, you know, some excellent pressure defence by Scotland, and just about managed to withstand the little bit of a barrage there, and could probably get the right players in at the right time. But no, it was an excellent contest, and you know, really, you know, what this tournament is all about really. It's you know, both groups are development groups, having aspirations to play for their under-18. So this kind of tournament here is yeah, absolutely excellent.
You mentioned in there the defense, and we said on comms about the defensive chess match between the two coaches. Get a word on that, some presses, some zones thrown in there.
Yeah. It's funny when you look over there and you see Callum and Bart, and you know that you're going to be in a technical battle. You know, we kind of won the first little phase with our press, and then they kind of broke that, and we had to think of something different, which is what you would expect anyway. So, and I think we, you know, that actually forced us to take the press off a little bit. But I thought our half-court man-to-man was better. I suppose the other thing that we were very conscious of was, you know, our three-point shooting is not where we'd like to be. So we kind of really took that out of our game, had a different emphasis, and that helped us a lot as well today.
Now, Andy, me and you have crossed paths a few times over the years
with
Scotland and GB teams. A little thought from your perspective on the Scottish performance and where you've seen over the years, any changes that you've noticed?
Well, I think that, you know, I did have a conversation with Callum. I think that, you know, that maybe the club game in Ireland is a little bit stronger than Scotland, but I think that, you know, strategically and what they're trying to do, and in discussions there about, you know, playing that like you know, in the pre-conversation about, well, we're never going to be the greatest offensive machines in the world, so we have to do things defensively, and that's what you saw today really, and also the fact that in the half time that, you know, we actually had Scotland had more fast break points than we did. So we were a little bit disappointed about that, to be perfectly honest. It's all the other way round. So, but I think that, you know, at the level of basketball here and the type of players we've got, I think the kind of game that Scotland were playing today was, and we tried to play as well, were perfect fits for the systems and the players that we've got.
Thank you very much, Coach. Congratulations on the second place finish at this tournament, and good luck in the future for this Ireland team.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
As we heard there from Coach, Ireland taking the second place on the girls' side, and we have the presentations here for the Irish team, and we will find out how the boys got on as well on the other court. Gavin Williams is centre court announcing, thanking, and Donny McDonald has now left me. He is going to be the one presenting the silver medals to the Ireland boys team, edging out the Scotland boys on the other court as they did with the girls. Very impressive performances we saw from yesterday as well as today. I'm sure by winning that game against that strong Scottish team, brilliant outfit, that Basketball Ireland has to be proud of their boys and their girls, doing an amazing job all weekend, just both losing narrowly out to England in the first games of the tournament, as we see the Ireland boys players collecting their silver medals from under-16s women's GB coach Donny McDonald. Credit to their nations as we see them line up for their pictures, parents getting their pictures, definitely proud of their boys. Large round of applause from every nation here in attendance, especially from the Ireland girls, celebrating the achievements of the Ireland boys. Second place at the 2025 Under-17s Four Nations tournament. Congratulations to them again. And now it is time for the girls to celebrate their own silver medal, led out by Summers. I know Bean is their captain. Brilliant performance from those two over the course of the whole weekend. It's definitely one to look at for the future. Under-16 GB coach Donny McDonald will give her silver medals there. I'm sure he'll be seeing more of them at European Championships on the opposing side in the future. Outstanding performances from Kaden Summers, Kate Bean, Sophie Gallagher as well, and then of course like Livingston, Uzar, O'Reilly. Very strong, deep Irish girls team there, and we saw on the stream today, very impressive performance, edging out that strong Scottish girls team as well. And again, many pictures to be taken. Very proud of their girls. Credit to Basketball Ireland for the silver medals in both the boys and girls this morning over the weekend.
So round of applause, Ireland under-17 girls. Right, we've got two more. We need to have two more photographs. Before we go, hang on, we need two. All-Star 5 for the girls. Actually, 2 points first to this side. Voting All-Star 5 for this tournament for the boys. Number 15, Wilfred Omorusi.
As Gavin Williams will be announcing the All-Star 5 from this Four Nations tournament. All the Ireland boys and girls very excited for their fellow Ireland boys player. And number 10, Kate Behan. Is always going to be the case for that kind of talent, offensively and defensively. I've been very, very impressed with her performances this weekend. Very well deserving of both of those accolades, both of those players. Next game we have on the main court at Archers Arena is the Wales under-17 boys national team versus the England under-17 boys national team. Coach Sterling, Massachusetts and Coach Lewis Scott leading out their teams for one last time this weekend for the final game. England looking to go undefeated this weekend, and Wales boys still looking to pick up their first win and looking for a good performance. Join us at 11:30 for the next game. Finishing the stream now with 62-50. Ireland girls edging out Scotland girls, taking the silver medal of this Four Nations tournament. Join us at 11:30 for the next game. Thank you very much.